Okay, so I wanted to give you some public speaking tips before you give your presentation. So the previous video that you watched was all about how to create a good digital visual aid, but this is about how you should actually present using that aid, but also just in how you speak and interact with your audience, because it is an interaction even if they're just quietly staring at you. So the first thing to note is that a presenter should never sit there and directly read things off of their digital visual aid or their slide, nor should they memorize word for word what they're going to say and then stand up there and deliver that. That both of those sound very robotic and monotonous and boring, and nobody likes it. Um, People automatically, they don't even have a choice. Their brain just kind of shuts off at that point and they stop listening. You don't want your audience to do that to you. So, in order to engage them, you have to do what is known as speaking extemporaneously, which is a very fancy way of saying speak from the heart, basically. You're going to be organized and you're going to think in advance about what you want to say, but you aren't going to plan it all out in advance and spit it out verbatim, word for word. First and foremost, you should try to relax and just remember that you're a human being and your audience is made out of human beings. And it is a human interaction. And so treat it like that. Be real, okay? It's just like, be real. Just like you would if you were speaking with one person. In fact, you can imagine that you are just speaking directly to one person if it makes you feel better. And of course, there's all kinds of tricks about public speaking to put your mind at ease by imagining somebody that you know and love, and you're just speaking directly to them. And so it's not such a big deal. You can do that, whatever you need to do, but keep it real, okay? And speak from your mind and your heart, not from memory, because that's not how human beings communicate. And at the end of the day, you're just trying to communicate your information, right? The other part of that being a very human interaction, well, there's a couple other parts to that, is to make eye contact with your audience and not always just with the same one or two people. And this is tough and it takes practice, but look around the room and lock eyes with different people as you're talking. Um, I guarantee you that the person whose eyes you lock with, they're going to follow you a lot longer through your presentation. And so the more people you're able to do that with, that's personal attention. And as human beings, just as a species, we like that. And so if somebody's giving us personal attention, we're going to pay more attention to them. Okay? So make eye contact. Also, smile sometimes. Okay? Don't be so serious or monotone. You know, smile. It's a good way to start in your presentation, and you should sprinkle your smiles in throughout. It doesn't need to be forced and awkward, but as often as it's appropriate, smile at your audience. People like to be smiled at. It's just another way to get them on board with you and to get them paying very close attention to you. If you smile at somebody, then you've really got them. They're going to be like, oh, what do you have to say? Another thing is to stand up straight, okay, and speak loudly. Those things kind of go together. Both of those tips have to do with exuding confidence. And even if you don't feel confident, even if you feel nervous, which is normal, but I promise will fade away the longer you're presenting. Um, it will go away a lot faster and will stay away, that nervous feeling, if you act confident. Okay, so you've heard this term, fake it until you make it. That is so true with confidence, especially when you're presenting in front of a group. If you stand straight and have good posture and you make your presence literally bigger, you make your body bigger by standing up straighter instead of shriveling up and trying to be small. If you stand up straight, make yourself larger, and project your voice and make it louder, that is going to communicate to your audience that you are confident because you know what you're talking about, and dang it, they should be listening to you, and they will. People listen to people that act confident. They just do. So those are a couple of good tips. Those will help get your audience on board, and they will help you feel better, okay? Because that miserable, nervous feeling, I promise you, that goes away the more confident that you act. Fake it till you make it. Finally, practice, especially since you are new at presentations. Even if you've done a few in high school or whatever, maybe even middle school, you're still pretty new to presenting in front of a group. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but I have to do presentations like every day, all the time. But at one point in time, I was very nervous about presenting, so much so that when I first enrolled into a speech class, I think I've told you this before maybe, when I enrolled in a speech class in college, I was so nervous that I not only dropped that class, I dropped out for a while. And I was like, oh, never mind, I can't be a teacher because I cannot do this. Which is so crazy for me to think about now because it comes so easily to me because I practice so much. You have not had a lot of practice yet, so you might still be feeling nervous. But the more that you practice at home, or you can even do it during class, if you just want to move to a corner of the room and quietly rehearse to yourself a few times, you can do that in this space. I'm not going to judge you, and certainly nobody else should because they would be wise to do the same thing. Wherever you can, whenever you can, practice so that when I call you up to present, you feel good about it. So those are my presentation tips. Hope you took some notes. Of course, you can rewatch this short video, jot those tips down, and make sure that you bear those in mind. Writing them down and thinking about them before you present truly will help you remember to do these things. And doing these things will help you not only get a better grade, but be more comfortable and sure of yourself as you present, and will certainly help you with all presentations going forward, not just in school, but in maybe other settings such as work or business related things.